we're a city that is growing quite rapidly right now, and we have a growth of about 1.5% a year, and that means that in about 10 years' time, we'll be about 50,000 people more than we are today, and this growth obviously needs to be helped along with a focus on how are we actually able to develop a city, a modern city, to be able to have much more capacity, both in terms of inhabitants, but also in terms of the waste and all the things that we produce when we live in a city together. So being a city that has been developed from the Viking Age by and with the sea, we need to take special care when we're developing the city to make sure that we do it in a sustainable way. And this is obviously not completely unique for the city of Aarhus. This is something that cities all across the world needs to consider. So this is the reason why we believe that this is a very important project, that regardless of what kind of water we're actually talking about, developing a city needs to take care of this. And the message that we've been putting across, that you're actually able to treat your wastewater without doing damage to the environment, and actually do it in an energy efficient way, and in fact you're able to do it while creating energy has sent a message out, I think, into many of the different cities in the world, that this is something that we need to consider. And we would like to be on the very forefront of this development with this project that is being kicked off today. So Marselisborg ReWater is both about reuse, recycling, using our resources in the best possible way, and also rethinking the way that we are doing this. And we hope that many of you and all the people that are engaged in this business would participate and take on the challenge of actually making this happen. Not just for the city of Aarhus, but for the millions and millions of people that are living in cities where this could actually benefit their lives and their ability to develop and grow. The water business is big business. It's basically, perhaps it's the most important business in the world right now. When you look at the hot topics of the economic summits in Davos and other places, this is at the very, very top of the agenda. And obviously it's about fresh water, but it's also about wastewater. So being able to tap into this with knowledge and with business ideas is also a way to create growth. And having about 1/3 of the water business in Denmark in this region, in the Midtjylland region, means that this is really, really important also in terms of creating jobs and creating growth and creating wealth. And the city of Aarhus is proud to be part of that development, and we believe that we have many of the competencies and the people needed to push forward on this agenda. So an open invitation to take part and be part of the solutions of tomorrow in order to make the cities a better place to live. That's a pretty good invitation. So I hope you will join us, and thank you for participating today. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. If we compare wastewater treatment with, for example, gold mining, can you imagine that? Gold mining? Yeah. as we can see now in wastewater, there are lots of good resources, lots of energy, phosphorus, plastic, you name it, maybe medicals, whatever. Just use your fantasy. Maybe in the future we can reuse lots of the resources in the wastewater as it is now. And to gold mine, we need a shovel. And the Marselisborg wastewater treatment plant is going to be that shovel, I could imagine. And we are heading for extracting and reuse resources in the wastewater that's never seen before, not in Aarhus, not in Denmark, not in the whole world. That's our ambition. That's a big ambition. Quite simply, we want to build the most advanced resource facility in the world. But the ambition calls for something extraordinary, much more than what we do now. So we cannot just use the knowledge and the technologies that we have today. We have to pass this comfort zone of what we know now and have to think new. And that's really the big ambition here. Today we ask you questions that will give us the answers we need in 2026. And how can we build new knowledge together with the university, together with all our partners, all the industries around us. The innovation strategy, you have it all in front of you. We have outlined 15 challenges. To begin with, we are looking mainly at the technical challenges and hope that we can, together with you, find the solutions we'll use in 2026. We are not going to build only one, we're going to build 2 plants. Of course, we are building the physical plant down at Marselisborg, but we are also going to build another plant, and that's the learning plant. We'd like to make innovation. We'd like to build new knowledge in the Marselisborg Resource Center. We hope that we, in collaboration with all of you and the universities, partners abroad, can develop quite new agenda when we talk about wastewater treatment in the future. The international dimension is important. We strongly believe, I guess you know all of you, in the power of partnerships. We are doing lots of partnerships today in Aarhus, in Denmark, but also international partnerships. It's part of our DNA in Aarhus Vand, we say. And we believe that we cannot do it ourselves only in Aarhus or only in Denmark. We have to look out, we have to learn from partners abroad, and we have to share our knowledge with partners abroad. Let me conclude today. I hope many of you will show interest to make some speed dating, to make some connections that you haven't made before, and together with us find the future wastewater resource plant placed here in Aarhus, but used sharing knowledge all over Denmark and all over the world.
So tell me, Mads, what kind of challenges would you like to solve on Marselisborg ReWater in particular?
One of the things we are trying to integrate is that we are not able to foresee what will be the next step. So during we are developing, there will happen a lot of new development. And therefore also I think for Aarhus and Marselisborg, I think the key words would be flexibility and controllability. So building a new facility, I think one have to be aware of that new things will come, and therefore there need to be built a flexibility into it. The other thing I think we already have learned, and Lars was a little bit into, that if you look at the existing facility, then it's well known, or beginning to be well known worldwide, that because it have the controllability and because it's controlled so well, it's far beyond what we else see around. So that talk for the two key things, what they in fact can offer, and I think that will be crucial also for the new facility. Maybe having more flexibility as there is on the existing one, but certainly also have the controllability. I see water in the future as being an integrated part of what Jakob was talking about, a sustainable city. And in that view, I think we should push it a lot further than where we are right now with energy. We are up now on making the whole water cycle completely energy neutral. I don't see a limitation. Why not go up on 600% energy production, also using the heat in the water, and there's other possibilities. There's also the possibilities, as we have seen abroad, to use food from the food industry and so on. And suddenly you have a power plant which not only cover its own need, but maybe produce 9 times more than what it needs itself. So feeding electricity into the city.
And how far are you from delivering that? I mean, can you do that tomorrow?
We can offer the control tools and all the flexibility which we spoke about in the intro, but we would really need some of the clever process guys and also some of the new things, also control nitrous gases and so on, being able to do that. There need to be some development, I'm sure, on some of the other things also.
Why is Aarhus in particular interesting to you? I mean, why not San Francisco?
If I look at the water industry globally, then the big difference is, in fact, management and the people in the companies. And just as we have heard here, whether there are some in the management which dare to put the bar high, and if they are able to attract people and have people in the organization which are able to deliver on it. That's, for me, the big difference. Else it could have been in Hamburg or in wherever. But that is the difference.
Thank you so much for coming. And,
Thank you.
Tell me, Carsten, which specific challenges would you and your tech entrepreneurs, if I can cast you in that position, find most interesting to solve with respect to Marselisborg ReWater?
The obvious thing would be to innovate on energy management, intelligent systems, and so on, because that's what we do. But as we're looking at 2026, and I was asked to make it sexy, we thought about what are the entrepreneurs doing? What we're facilitating a lot of business acceleration in what we call Scale Up Denmark centers, and looking at these entrepreneurs. It's very obvious that we should think of Internet of Things, sensors, and digitization. We want to make a difference, and looking at the entrepreneurs we facilitate, is they want a purpose. They don't just want to make money. They want to make money, but they need a purpose also. Mm-hmm. And water is a purposeful business.
Okay, so you think actually it will have a big interest.
There's lots of energy, not just in joules, but in emotional energy in this business. I think doing it like this, there's a plant about to be built, opening it up for innovation, where the entrepreneurs can meet the corporates, can meet the universities. In this field between universities, corporates, and startups, there's so much energy, and now there is a business as well, because, as you said, 200 million euros is about to be invested. It's big business, and this is just one facility in the whole world. So there's just loads of money to be made, but also a load of difference to be made.
And in order for this to be a good match, what would you in particular like to have from Aarhus Vand?
A playground.
A playground.
Yeah. A room facilitated for collaboration between these parties, and a contest as this, an open invitation, but it is also sort of a contest. It makes just so much sense that to participate in this, you see X Prize in the US or globally and other contests, they generate a lot of ideas and they also generate a lot of business. So doing it like this, I think, is a way to go forward in openness. And of course, there are competitors wanting to keep their secrets and so on, and it needs to be addressed. But it's doable.
Well, thank you so much. From your university point of view, what will be the most rewarding challenges to work on, you think?
At the university, we are in the process of I would say investing quite massively in building up the necessary technical sciences to support this. So it's actually going from biotech and chemical engineering all the way to electrical and computer engineering. So some of the areas that you just heard the two young gentlemen here talk about, we are going to educate and do research in those fields massively in the future. And on top of that, we just recently decided that we are going to initiate a university center for water treatment technologies. So across different disciplines, not only in engineering, but also in environmental science and bioscience and a number of other of our more classic disciplines, we're gonna set up cooperation in that. So this is actually all of this is something that's going to support directly this thinking of a large number of the innovation challenges we are talking about here. If I can elaborate, of course, we see on the university scale, we see that the water treatment and let's say the ability to deliver clean water on a global scale is maybe top 6 grand challenge or something like that. So it's a huge thing. So of course we want to do our utmost to support that, both in terms of educating young people that has skills in this, and also build an environment that can support the industry and of course Aarhus Vand in this. So it's also quite important for me to say that the I would say ambitious plans that Lars has just presented, we are very impressed by that, and we want to engage in that. So actually we think we are ambitious ourselves, but this is actually probably even more ambitious, and we need partners in this to make this happen. So I would say we are working on a setup on how to do a further cooperation in this. So for us, it's important to when we go into any kind of challenge, that we do this based on the challenge coming from the industry or from the Aarhus Vand, where the real problem is, and we need the partnership to do this, and then we can try and see what are we able to do then to try and treat this challenge.
What else would you like to have from Aarhus Vand in order for it to be a good match for you?
Yeah, so also the I would say very international thinking of Aarhus Vand is also a parameter for us. So the engagement that's going on in the US, for instance, we have a similar thing. So we have people going to California next week to set up similar things. So in terms of developing new deep tech stuff that can be exported and maybe even demonstrated and used in other locations, like in cities outside of Europe, this is also a very good thing for us. Yeah.
Well, very interesting indeed. So thank you all for coming, and thank you all for staying.